afternoon to all the candidates. I have two questions for you all. First, what is your take on new PAP candidates fighting GE and SMC rather than a GRC? Given the opportunity, is any one of you keen on contesting an SMC? The second question is, Workers' Party Chairman Sylvia Lim called it a regressive step if opposition only participates as NCMPs and NMPs, because when it comes to making changes to the policy, the pressure on PAP is very limited. Do you all agree? Thank you.
Perhaps I'll answer the NCMP questions and then ask the new candidates. NCMP is not a new system, and I think those both who have been NCMPs and the public have found it very, in my sense, useful for the debate. In terms of pressure, whether you're a minority party, even as MPs, you can't pressure the PAP. So I think that point is moot. In other words, even if you could vote, you're in a minority. So I think that's not a real argument. I think it's very useful for a platform for different parties to voice their views. And also the focus on small numbers, or not a real MP as you like, it's not a real argument. PAP started as 3 PAP candidates in the House. So the real test for opposition parties, if they want to convince the people that they have the mandate, they should receive the mandate, that they have a real alternative program which can bring Singapore forward. That's the critical factor. Not whether you're NCMP, whether you have fewer seats in Parliament. If you can convince and mobilize Singaporeans that you have a better plan, that what you want to do will bring Singapore forward, you get public support. And that's the heart of politics. For the questions of whether they are, I think about SMC and GRC, I think I'll ask the individual candidates to answer.
Okay. I'll answer this question in Mandarin. 我觉得既然要出来参选，那么每一个候选人他就要做好心理准备，要面对选民的审视。那么我觉得是去单选区或者是去集选区呢，这个应该是由党来做一个决定。我觉得集选区是有它一定的作用的，因为集选区它是由好几个候选人组成的这样子的一个团队。那么因为每个候选人他各有强项，他每个人都有自己的代表性，所以呢其实搭配起来可能对于选民来讲，这个团队会比较完整。那么他们所可以代表的这个选民的心声也可以比较全面。这是我的看法，谢谢。
我想反对党也是会去单选区或者是集选区，好像张世忠先生他也会去集选区。所以作为一个候选人，我觉得我赞同陈颖所说的话，就是我们都有心理准备去单选区或集选区，但是这一切的决策都是在党做的决定。所以这个问题，我想我们都随时都会全力以赴。如果是无论是集选区或是单选区。
Let me answer your question in English first. I think it makes no difference whether you are SMC or you are GRC. The crux of the issue is whether you want and if you are dedicated to serve the people. If you are dedicated to serve the people and to serve the nation, then I would say that you can do it whether you are in an SMC or you are in a GRC. For that matter, even if you are a NCMP or an NMP, you can still make your views heard and to serve the people. I would be very surprised if a NCMP or NMP, if he or she can produce creative ways to help the country forward, that this government would not take on those suggestions, and I will be very surprised if they don't enjoy the support of the people in the next election. So the real issue is whether people can come forth with a heart dedicated to serve the people and bring forth good, value-added suggestions to bring the country forward. That is the crux of the issue. Do you want me to answer that in Chinese or? Yeah. Huh? Okay. But maybe just let me add something in Chinese. I think it's not very helpful to tell people that you should go here to stand, you should go there to stand. You know, this is not a gang fight. You know, you taunt the other fella to come forward, to stand here and there. The Chinese have a saying, right? 己所不欲，勿施于人. Do not do unto others what you do not want others to do unto you. So I think wherever we stand as a team. We stand as a team. And likewise for the opposition, wherever they stand as a team. It would not be right for me to suggest to the opposition where they should go and stand because they run their own strategy. And so we will just focus on serving the residents and serving the people. And that is, I think, the most important thing. Because if you stand in an SMC or a GRC and you are not true to the people and not true to the nation, you will be found out very soon.
What have the grassroots and the residents spoken to the PAP about the new candidates so far? And what do you think they can improve upon for the upcoming elections?
We've decided to put candidates early. And I would say that of the 24 that we've met, the majority had at least a year, if not a few years on the ground. We started, as I said in my last introduction when I was here, we started this process of candidates 6 months after the last election. So we had 4 over years. And as we were processing candidates that we found suitable, we put them on the ground. So some had 3-4 years. Some, of course, were already on their own. For example, today, I mean, Sim Ann said she started this when she was, she's 36 and she started this 8 years ago. Waynon was helping PM in his constituency a few years now. So for this batch, one particular aspect is that there's been a lot of, for most of them, a lot of grassroots exposure. And that was easier for us to decide to put them in. The feedback on the ground from those that they've been exposed to, whether they have been previously there and now that they've been shifted to the areas they're currently in, have been positive, that these people can connect. So I think previously when there was a reaction that new candidates, there wasn't enough time for grassroots, for residents to know them. We don't hear that much of that. How can it be improved? There can never be enough time, I guess, for residents to know the candidates, and more is better, but we'll see how we can assess candidates faster for the next round so that we can even put them on a longer period. And I would say that that would be similar for all candidates, whether it's from PAP for the opposition. I think we all ought to give residents more time to know the candidates, wherever they're coming from.